Hey guys, how's it going? I'm MegaGWolf and welcome back to the Sonic Fan Showcase. I know it has been an absolute age before I've done a video on one of these now. It's been since March and I apologize. I actually want to quickly explain why it's been so long. Originally, I did the Fan Showcase, or did the Fan Showcase because of Sage and the fact that all the games were released through Sage. Now, I didn't realize that the site was going to go down like 2 days after I did my first episode. So, slowly but surely, I tried to find a way to be able to continue to download all these games and show them off. Now, what I can't promise is that I'll have a link for you to try every game, but hopefully Sage will come back with Act 2 and you'll be able to play Salom Adventure and all the other games. But today, we'll be talking about Salom Adventure. Now, this game actually took me by surprise. I was quite shocked to see what it was like. I do have a few issues, which we'll get to when we actually get into the gameplay, but my initial thought was, oh man, OCs, yay, original the character, do not steal. It's a bit unfair maybe to kind of instantly judge something like that, but it does rub me the wrong way occasionally because often I haven't seen it done correctly. But I'll give credit where credit is due. My tongue wasn't agreeing with me in that last try, but I'll give credit where credit is due. These characters are okay. I mean, they are similar to existing Sonic characters, and they don't look like they have random parts attached, like some things I've seen on DeviantArt. So, overall, not bad. What I really like about this fan game is the presentation. The main menu was really nice. For some reason, I really enjoyed the fact that there was a clock in the bottom left corner. Just had a good general polish to it. And most of this game does, barring maybe the gameplay. But that is kind of where I have some of the nitpicks about this game in general, is actually to do with the gameplay. Now, when it comes to actual gameplay, I'm not quite sure where I stand with this, because certain times it feels floaty, other times it feels sluggish. It's really kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it too well, without you trying it yourself, really. It does have a really nice flow to it when you get going, but I think it's when you try to do the little parts, it kind of falls apart a little, and I don't know how I would improve that. And this actually leads into my other issue, which is that sometimes you can't react quick enough to what's going on the screen, and because this game goes fast, and sometimes it can go ridiculously fast. It may not look it to you now if you're watching, but when you're playing it, it feels a lot faster than it looks. And I don't have my lightning quick reactions anymore. I've never thought I've had bad reactions, but sometimes I just don't see things coming. Maybe that is a bad contrast from the background to the foreground. That is maybe a personal preference on stuff. I don't know, it's really quite odd. Sometimes I just run into things that I didn't even see coming. But again, wouldn't really know how to fix that, whether it be like, you couldn't really zoom the camera out any more than it already is. I guess you could make the overall viewing field, like the field of view, bigger. Maybe make this standard window bigger, which I do also request, considering Game Maker always... oh, it loves to mess with my recording software. I wish you would make these games bigger, just double the pixels or something. Well, that's just a nitpick really against other fan games in general, but overall that's really the only negative thing I can say about it. So really it's generally personal preference, because the feeling of the game will differ depending on who you are, if you prefer games being slightly more floaty than others, blah 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 and all that, I guess. And also the whole reaction thing, again, is purely from person to person. Overall, the hedgehogs feel similar to pre-existing characters. Of course, Salom being very Sonic-like, but kind of wind-based, I guess. That's what it seems, anyway. And Vermin here is fire-based, somewhat like Blaze, I suppose. And of course, you get to pick Sonic and Shadow as well if you want to play with some classic characters. Now, they each have their own characteristics. For example, Vermin can't dash, per se. He can get a, like, flaming burst of speed, but he can't continuously dash a la Sonic or Salom. And his pound attack is more of a forward-thrusting, downward kick thing. And Sonic and Shadow play as Sonic and Shadow would. Similar to that of, let's say, Sonic Advance, I guess. Except Shadow, if you're standing still and press the dash button, can shoot his Chaos Spear, which I don't know if he can do that in Advance. Is he in one of the Advance games? I don't know, I only played the first. So, some good choices, depending on your play style and what you feel like doing at the time. I don't know if each character gets their own special levels. I'll assume they do, considering Shadow's level is quite particular on what you need to do. But since this is just a demo, no real way of telling, unfortunately. But since we're on the topic of levels, how do the levels play out? Well, they're pretty good. They flow really nicely and have, of course, as is the Sonic way, many different ways to go up and down and all around. Of course, again, with my not lightning quick reactions, most of those up and down and all around ways, you do have to jump at the right time during a running section to be able to do. So, I'm not necessarily that great at showing them off. But overall, there's no real dickish areas that I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe some annoying placements when it comes to bottomless pits, but generally you're flying about doing all sorts of crazy stuff, so that's not necessarily an issue all the time. In general, I'm pretty happy with the way the levels are laid out and the amount of interesting things you have to do. You have to push boxes to get on top of areas to hit switches, and in Shadow's level you have to fly on stuff and rockets and all sorts of shit that's going on. As well as have an arcade mode, which is what I'm using to show off the characters and various levels. It does also have an adventure mode, which it has basically a hub world you can walk around that has like little mini games that you can play, as well as various rewards for doing well in levels, as well as play some of these levels. I don't know if it allows you to play as the same character throughout all the said levels though, because you do get a character select at the beginning. Overall, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this fan game goes. Even with my nitpicks, it's generally a really fun game to play. It's quite fast and rewarding and just feels good. As I said though, sometimes it can be too fast and not so rewarding when it's slowed down. It's quite weird. I don't know how to explain it, guys. It's a weird one. But that was all I had to say about Salom Adventure. There might be more that I can't think of right now because I haven't done this in a while, guys. I apologize for that as well. Sonic Fan Showcase will be on a more regular schedule again now that I have the ability to download these things. Of course, I don't know if I'm able to give these particular links out, but I hope that they have some kind of hub that you'll be able to download them from, or maybe the developers of said fan games have their own places to be able to download the games from. I assume that is the case. So, if you know of any, throw the links my way and I'll put them in the description. Until the next time on the next Sonic Fan Showcase, I'll see you around. Okay, thanks, bye.